I'm going to show you the best place to farm the Springtide Bloom event if you want to get it done today and quickly and easily. Now, best is maybe a little bit subjective because on my server some areas are more farmed than others, but let me show you in game where I'm talking about. If you like this spot, try it. So the spot I'm talking about, and now keep in mind that now I'm doing this video, it might not be that useful, is actually in Everfall. So if you're unaware of what this event is, I'll show you what you actually do in a second. But you can see these little flowers. These are the Springtime Bloom events. This is where you do your wispy stuff, and I'll talk about that in a second. But this is the best place I've found. You can find these flowers generally outside or around where these events are, but you have to be within range to see them. Now, often there's something in the sky. I don't think I can actually show you one, but I can't. But often you can actually see like a cloud above it. But I'm going to talk about this location here specifically because it seems to be, at least even on Barry, one of the quietest. Now, there's a couple of different spawns here just north of this point. There's this one here. There's like at least 2 or 3 here. But importantly, and this is the one where I think, like, if you're really struggling, the one where I would recommend, and it's the one where I literally just found to max reputation, is actually up here in Brightwood. So you can get up a rock here and you can climb up to about here, and there's 2 flowers that spawn, one here and one here basically, and you can just sort of cycle between them. There's a bit of a downtime between them, but that's not that bad. It's actually quite good if you're like semi-AFK, you just do the 2 points and waits. Now, if you're going a little bit more hardcore or you're on a quieter server, then you can literally do all the ones here and then back up there in a nice little cycle. But let me just show you the 2 up there first. Before you farm it though, there's a couple of things you're going to want to know. Number 1, you need these Spritzes, which you can get from this Wispy Spritz station. However, you don't necessarily need to do this because you can get them for free. Sure, if you want to use your fibers, honey, and your fire motes, go ahead and craft some. But every town and the 4 classic seasonal events, they have this thing in the middle or something like this. You collect it, it gives you the Wispy Spritz. You need that to do the event. Along with the Wispy Spritz, it's probably worth having this Springtide wafer because it's actually going to give you double the wispy blooms. Now, I've heard that this isn't working. I haven't been able to test that just yet because I actually got to max reputation without it. I haven't gone and tested it just yet. But when it does work, just make sure you probably want to get it. It's worth it. You're going to get double. It's going to speed up the whole process. So as I said, up there in Brightwood, there's these 2 little spawns. They're not like the most amazing ones, but I tried a couple of different spawns and there's literally like 10, 20 people all trying to farm them. And it's quite frankly a nightmare. Because at this event, there are these 3 little blobs, I guess, that are going to chase you around. Now, their movement is a little bit erratic and a bit annoying. And what you do is there's these little like seeds. You plant your Wispy Spritz in these seed pods, and then it blows up in the red circle. You need to then get the 3 little balls to get hit by that explosion. But they're moving around, they're chasing different people. If you all go in the middle and you try and click the flower, then they go back to the middle. It's very annoying. So what you're looking for right now, ideally, is a quiet spot because the other people are going to slow you down. Now, don't worry, if there's multiple of you there, as long as you get like at least a couple of hits off or even maybe just 1 bomb, you will get credit. You don't have to pick the flower. If you just stand around and then when it actually ends, you also get accreditation for it. It's also worth checking when you do kill the blobs on the ground because you're looking for a wispy wasp goo. You can hand that in for additional reputation. So anyway, in Brightwood, you just cycle between these 2 points, or if you're feeling very bored, you can go south and do all of those other points. That'll be better when it's quieter, but on an overly farmed server, it's chocker right now. So once you've done your farm, be it either here at the top or you do the ones here, depending on how quickly they're going. As I said, that's available at every single point. Every single one of these Springtide villages, they're pretty much like around here. Once you've done that though, you then bring everything back to the station here, and you can sort of convert either wispy wasp screws or you convert the wispy bloom petals. And you can convert these to tokens, and that's what you want in your life. There's many things in the shop. As we discussed, there's some food and stuff like that. There's also the green patterns, which are going to be interesting if you just want that aesthetic. There's some dyes, but of course you are going to want to farm it because you want, well, you're probably going to want the skins and you're going to want the emotes and stuff like that, as well as the furnishing items. However, these patterns are also very useful. I spoke about them before, but let me just pick one up and we'll show you what we've got. Let's say I take this blooming mask of Erach. I've also just been told that if you harvest a pigment in the open world, you also get an extra token that might be a decent way of farming tokens depending on how popular they are. They're not actually that common, so it might be a little bit awkward to actually farm those, but worth noting. Here's an example of one of the trees that I was talking about, the Joyous Pals. I keep calling them trees, but in this case it's actually a pile of presents. And here is the mask, for example. You can pick the strength, etc. What I just want to show you is the perks, its physical version, refreshing, and then a random perk bucket. It's about 25% I think to get resilience. So they're worth farming, worth having if you actually want these kind of things, which I think some of you will do. I know I spoke about a lot of this before, but really the main thing is if you want a relatively quiet farm, then there are some farms out there in the world. You can see there's actually one outside of Everfall. There might end up being a better place, but right now if you want an AFK farm, or you just want to like consistently farm instead of chasing with a billion people, I'm finding this area here to be very good. So that's it really, just the best place that I've seen so far. This tip actually came to me from Crazy Razef. I'll leave a link to the channel in the description. Other than that, if you want to help me and grow the channel, then becoming a YouTube member or Patreon is the best way. You can come and give me a follow over on Twitch this evening. I shall be doing a relatively long stream. And good luck killing these little blue gits. They're very annoying. I really don't like them. What you should definitely do though is have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.